Hello and welcome to episode 4 of our Timberborn Update 5 playthrough with the Folktails faction here in hard mode. Cycle 9, day 7. Finally have a long drought, 17 days, now that we're out of the, I guess you could call it, the handicap period. And we're going to be in for an interesting time here as the water starts to stop coming down. You can see it slowly receding here. But we presently are in a decent position in terms of food and water, but it's not going to last that long. 17 days. The water down here is most certainly going to be gone, as is the water in here, and we simply have to do something about that to make sure that the future is not going to be a barren and dry one. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump all the water out of this. We're going to remove these dams, and we're going to put in the tall floodgates. I'm going to have to research the double floodgates and then build double stacked levees on either side, because we just have to have a lot more depth, and we've got to get this situated in such a way that it's not going to become a problem in future droughts. Because remember, hard mode, you can have droughts, what was it, 29 days? It's the maximum. I know it's longer than 17. I think the last time we actually played hard mode with any sort of enthusiasm was when I had artificially made it even harder. So I don't know, we'll see, we'll learn together. But a bunch of you were very good about pointing out some deficiencies and things that we had done improperly last episode, like for example putting the stream gauge not directly in front of the floodgate and having the settings shall we just say incorrect. So we're going to be moving stuff, but not at this exact moment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here and we're going to set the contamination high threshold to 1% and set the low threshold to 1% as well. So it's just an on-off switch. Oh wait, it already was. Never mind. I was going to the wrong one. But we also want to disable these during droughts so that it defaults to the normal behavior. And of course, this one is just following what this one was already set to. So helpful people in the comments help me understand a little bit better about how this works. I still don't really fully get it, but we're going to just hope that this works and be fine with it. So what this tick does is this turns off during droughts all of the advanced tab controls, and it will default to basic stuff, which we currently don't have set up at all. But if this is just automatically setting height when the bad tide starts, it's going to be overridden by anything happening here, which is good for terms of contamination measurement and everything. But for a drought start, drought end, the contamination has nothing to do with it. So we're just going to set that to regular, just nothing. And once we have all this stuff replaced down here, then we'll be able to automate these up and down quite a bit better. But now an interesting problem that we have is we don't have any more water wheels providing power because, well, there's no water, and there won't be for the next 16 days at least, probably closer to 17 and a half. So we're going to have to get creative with our power usage here. And by creative, I mean have some beavers run on a treadmill. That's the only way we're going to be able to make anything happen. And it's not really a very convenient time for that to be what we're dealing with, because in order for us to actually do what we need to be doing down here, we really, really want to have treated planks. Because something that we've ignored for the... I'll go ahead and triple speed this. But something we've ignored for the first several episodes of this playthrough is that the Folktails have another unique building we haven't played with, the large water pump. A couple of you pointed out in the comments. This one employs 3 beavers and will give you 15 water per hour, versus one of these that gives you 3. And it has a maximum depth of 4. It's a little bit bigger and it has to be researched, but for it to actually be built, we have to have 10 treated planks. And to get the treated planks, we have to research the wood workshop, and then we also have to research the tapper shack to get the resin from the pine trees. And to build the tapper shack, we have to have gears and planks. And to make gears and planks, we have to have power. So this is pretty much the worst possible time for us to be doing this, but we're just going to kind of have to get over ourselves and get into this anyway. So it's going to be a fun little exercise in managing our workforce. We did expand it slightly last time with our additional housing here. Some of you were not too happy with the way that I have this laid out, but it's going to be all right. We'll get over it. we'll have to just kind of deal with stuff for the time being and all that. But we do finally have our tree farm operating slightly efficiently, I suppose. It's not really ideal being so far away, but what are you going to do? There's not really much else you can do. So one thing we really need to do is be able to store more water. Unfortunately, we just have these 2 medium tanks, and to build another one is going to take another 20 gears that we don't have, and 30 planks. Well, we do have 30 planks. But if we want to actually make any progress, we need to be building a tapper shack so we can get the pine resin, which means we can make the wood workshop and all that. But that needs power that we can't make because we don't have any power. We don't have any flow. And because this is a drought and not a bad tide, we can't even harness the power of the bad water source because we haven't, I don't even know if I don't even think the bad water rig works during a drought. I'd have to go back and check, but we're going to have to figure something out for power, and we just don't have the manpower to have beavers go on these power wheels all the time. And it's unfortunate. So we can at least keep making some lumber mills by having one of these guys running and powering this the whole time. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. But remember what I said last time is that this area is not going to be a tree farm anymore. It's going to be a regular farm because of the, shall we say, unpredictability of how this is set up. So we actually don't need this forestry here. We're going to get rid of that. That's going to free up another beaver to go work in the lumber mill. And we have water here that's going to evaporate. We don't want that. We want to actually use the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and construct a water pump. Probably isn't the best place for it, but that's where it's going to go. But we're just going to pump out of this. I'm not going to build a medium tank because that takes gears and planks, but I'm going to build a couple small ones just so we can have that taken care of. Because we want to make sure we're storing all this. And it's not going to matter if there's still water here because we're not planting any more trees. We're just harvesting the ones that have already grown. And then all the new ones planting over here. But the fluid dump has been paused. And that's a problem because we've still got to figure out how all of this other stuff works. And a couple people put stuff in the comments trying to explain to me. Look, I appreciate it. I really do. My brain just does not work with this stuff. So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. But we need to get a little bit more water in here. So we're going to have this guy come in and stock this up slightly. And then I'm just going to pause this again. This should last for enough time for this to not be a problem anymore. But we need to figure out how to fully automate these. And I know we can do it with the stream gauges. We just haven't gotten quite to that point yet. And that's something that's going to have to take time. But keep in mind, we don't have, I say as the stuff's going dry over here, we don't have the resources and the manpower to make this stuff work. It just takes way too long. I mean, if we had, 50 or 100 beavers, then we'd probably be fine. But we don't. So that is where we're at. Oh, I thought I unpaused this. Okay, well, let's fix that. Pause that one again. There we go. Let that get nice and filled up. Should be no problems. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a longer-term thing to get this situated in a way that makes sense. Again, it just takes time. It's something we just have to commit to doing. So we have 75 planks. We want to be making gears in the gear workshop, and that is a building that takes 120 HP. We can only produce 50, so unfortunately that's just the way it goes. Not really going to be able to get away from that. But we are pumping water out here. We're pumping water out here. And remember that once this is empty, we can do construction on this. We want to make sure we have the logs, which we do. And for the floodgates, we're going to need planks, and we have plenty of those. So we just need to make sure we're keeping... am I going to need to do probably more than 2 actual floodgates? I don't know. We'll get it figured out. I'm not that worried about it. We just need to make sure that we are keeping enough water back here where it's going to actually be useful to us and not just a nuisance. Water flow considerations and everything else as well. Now, one thing I did... okay, now this is done. We can pause these. One thing that I did learn is that... Where is that under landscaping? The contamination barrier is a different building. I think I might have talked about this in the very first episode of the Iron Teeth playthrough. But the contamination barrier is different from the Iron Teeth version, which is just the irrigation barrier. This one we can build, and it will only block contamination. So I think what we're going to want to do with that is pretty much just put this along the entire way right here. Obviously, we can't make them yet because it takes metal, and we don't have metal, and we won't for a while. But that's something we can build, and it will only trap the contamination. It's not going to stop the irrigation. Just wanted to make sure we are aware of that, because that was going to be a interesting development for us either way. But now we have levees, and we can keep this kind of weird cockeyed thing going on here. I think we probably are going to have to, but I don't know if we're going to be able to reach this. Are we? I guess we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just build this all the way across here. And we're just going to have it be completely straight. We'll have them build this one levee. And then after that's complete, I can come in here so they can actually reach both of these. But I'll put this here. We'll have 4 gates across. And then we'll just have this right here. That'll be fine. It's not going to leak water. It might look like it is, but it won't actually leak water. That's okay. And they're going to be floodgates. So we can have them set to 1.5 when water's flowing through, and when the drought starts, it can be set to 2.0 to hold more water in. And then eventually we can get rid of these things. We just don't want the bad water to mix and come up this way. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, like right now, it's just kind of flowing off the side of the map. Not really that much of a problem. And then we also have this area here we can get to if we so choose and we want to start diverting some of the bad water. We already have this set up to just kind of trap good water where it is. So we would have to build a pretty robust system of these levees and floodgates and everything here. But we haven't gotten there yet. Things to consider for the future. Now we have double floodgates to unlock. Going to go ahead and get those. And I'll build the innermost ones first so they can still get around and gather all of this rubble. Should not be a problem. We'll get that taken care of a-okay. Plenty of water, plenty of food still. So we've gotten that one pretty much taken care of. No problems there. Now what I do want to do, I'm going to bring this guy in to be a lumberjack. We'll check our water situation. Yep, still looking okay. Planting trees, we probably should, all things considered, straighten this path out. I know that was really, really bugging some of you. But we'll straighten that, have this just be a completely straight shot. And we can actually plant some more oak trees here. And then on this other side as well, I was going to try and keep this kind of organized. But what we're going to end up doing here, like I said last episode, is we're going to make these areas... Actually, you know, I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of this this forester here. But eventually I do want this to be areas for the trees we can actually get stuff from. But this whole thing isn't going to be trees. So I guess it was fine for me to delete that. I probably shouldn't have, but you know how it goes. Okay, this needs to be irrigated once again. Just bring some water in. There we go. Looking good. And the same thing here. Just come drop some and we'll be a-okay. Although I don't think they're going to do it right now because it's in the middle of the night, but we'll leave that unpaused. Just about done here working on these two. We have 7 days before water starts coming back in here, and that is a-okay. No issues detected there. And we still have plenty of water. We've got 550 to last another 7 days. should be enough. Should not have any problems with that. Alright, so that's paused. Let's check. That's still looking good. That is actually not paused, so we're going to pause that. So it's not wasting any more beavers. Yes, we've got some stuff to get to work on here. So I guess I could just employ them all as lumberjacks. It's such a problem not having the water flow here. Which is why I guess gravity batteries exist. But hey, we don't have those because we haven't gotten metal yet. And yeah, it's going to be a while. Just one of those things. But we'll get all these trees harvested. We should have... Oh, we actually full on log storage? Yikes, okay. I don't have underground piles yet. That's not going to fit there. It will fit here. I don't think I want to put that there. So for right now, I will just put this right here with just regular logs. That'll work. That'll be A-okay. How are we doing here? All right, I should have them collect these scrap piles. I guess strictly speaking, it's not scrap, it's rubble. Scrap is a completely different item in the game. We also, up here, are going to most likely, since this is going to be things that are gathered with a gatherer flag or a tapper's shack, going to plant berries up here, which we probably should do sooner rather than later. But I digress. We need to get tapper shack going, which we can actually do before we do the wood workshop. What we kind of have to do before we do the wood workshop. So let's unlock the tapper shack. And just so we can harvest some of this stuff, I'm just going to set this up right here. And they're going to grab stuff from the pine. And we'll give them a nice warehouse over here. If I can find a good place to put one of these. It's probably just going to be fine to do this. Just have this set to pine resin. Because what we're going to do is over here, we're going to put in a wood workshop as soon as we can construct one of those. Now, there's no sense constructing it until we have actual, pine resin to use. So to construct the tapper shack, we still need 10 gears. We have 21 in storage, so that should be okay. Let these guys get to work when the time comes for that. Yep, we're waiting on logs, but we do actually have logs. I guess they're just taking their time to get down here. No storage space available for logs. Okay, so we need to build this pile. I'd forgotten how much of a pain storing logs can be early game if you suddenly have a bunch. Well, that's the fun of doing these new playthroughs, isn't it? Yeah, I guess now we have to wait for them to actually build this. But we got 4 days left in the drought, and we are doing just fine on water. No problems there. Now we can put our logs in, gather all of the fun stuff here, and then I can finally put the rest of these floodgates in. And I don't think we're going to need to have these actually attached to stream gauges. We're just going to set the height when the drought starts to 2, and when the drought ends, set it to 1.5. That's pretty much all we need to worry about. Are we already out of storage? No, we're not. They just haven't gotten this yet. I know we have enough storage. Maybe we don't. Maybe they've already allocated some of this. Huh. That's certainly strange. That's for planks. If I'm going to make one of these... Oh, I'm going to need 40 gears. Well, I guess by the time we're going to get to this, it's not going to be that big of a problem. So why don't we go ahead, since we have the ability to get in here, put in another water wheel here, because we're going to have a whole bunch of power going over in this direction. I don't think I have any stairs to go down here yet, do I? Can I get this way? I think I can. Yeah, let's just do one of these. Have these guys come down here because I want to have a lot of power taken care of here. So this, instead of being a platform, now that we have a ton of wood, we might as well just go ahead and make this levees. So it can route the water appropriately. It is going to kind of compress a little bit here. Don't worry, we're not going to do water folding right now. I know some people are exceptionally distasteful toward water folding for whatever reason, but that is going to be a much later kind of deal. I can hear the cheering from here, but I digress. We're going to let them continue running on the wheel here for another little bit of time, and then we will move on to other things. We're probably going to need 2 gear workshops. We determined with the help of math that somehow, at the age of 32, I have not grasped basic algebra, but I have learned that 2 gear workshops is probably fine per lumber mill. I'm not going to build 4. That's just completely unnecessary. But what we will do is we will put another gear workshop right here, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to have other stuff attached because of the distances and stuff here. And they haven't even started building this yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. This water pump doesn't need to stay here. This is more of a temporary thing, just to try and get water out of this. So we can actually just go ahead and get rid of both of those. Well, all of those, actually. And then that's going to allow us to move this back, which is going to give us space to build our wood workshop here, which I can go ahead and research. And honestly, we probably should. But yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to get this actually constructed, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, no, it's not connected. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's going to be connected side to side just as soon as this is all in place. Now, they still have not gotten this little bit of rubble, but I think once they actually start building the rest of this, it should be okay. Should have no issues here. Okay, none of these are dying. This is still irrigated. That's looking good. In case you're wondering, I did not put trees here because I wanted to have a throughput for another path to get up here. So might as well go ahead and just have that set up. And I don't think we need to have a path at the front of this, but I'm going to leave a space for it. I guess just like leave one there anyway, just because there's not really any reason to. I mean, this is a big map. We don't really need to be worried about compact space or anything. We just need to make sure that we don't kill the beavers. That's job 1. that we don't do that. Oh, this lumberjack flag doesn't need to be here. All right, so we're waiting on planks, and we don't have planks because I turned the planks off so I could make gears. But now we can't make gears because we don't have planks. So you know how this goes. Just one of those things. All right, and these guys can't get any more of this wood because they can't really use it because they don't have space. But I need them to come and get these logs. Now, I know people have tried to tell me how to get this rubble out of here, but no matter what you tell me, I'm still not going to be able to do it. That's just how it works. There's a specific space it's going to want it to go. As soon as I do this... Are you serious? It worked perfectly the first time after... Okay. Well, now I just look like an idiot. But that's par for the course, I suppose. Yeah, these 30 logs need to immediately go somewhere else. And that's where that went. I guess sometimes I just get lucky as to where the game wants to send stuff. But we got to get this stuff built. We didn't have the planks, which is unfortunate. But now we have the tapper shack. We can actually get pine resin, which again is going to live over here. I just had to remove this stuff because of the way this path was set up. And here comes the water. There we go. Now I can finally get rid of the power wheel, turn these back on, and we're good to go. Just got to get these guys to build power wheels and get all that stuff set up. Looks like this is already making very good progress. We'll put our other gear workshop right there. And that'll all be connected. Yeah, we should be making pretty good power here. 181, 105, 212. Yeah, once we have the wheels all the way across, I think we're going to be in really good shape. Yeah, should be looking good. All right, so we got a broken tooth beaver. Did I actually... No, okay, I've got one of these built. We don't have to worry about that then. And then we will start replanting this with other trees. First one probably should be chestnuts, I think. The maple syrup is not going to be relevant until much later on when we start making the maple pastries, and then way, way later when we do refineries and stuff. So I do think chestnuts should be the first one we get going. So, to that end, I will go ahead and build a forester here, and we're going to start planting the chestnut trees after I unmark these for cutting that have already been cut down so we don't accidentally kill our new chestnut trees. But we'll just go ahead and start the process of getting these replaced, because it's going to take a long time for them to grow, and I don't want to wait for this whole thing to be clear before we actually take care of the rest of the stuff. And of course, they still have to build the forester. That's still a thing. All right, we got to build this gear workshop first. Let's prioritize that. I've not forgotten about these guys down here. Don't worry, but we don't really need them yet because it's not a problem. Ah, yes, this is dry. Yeah, we really got to get a handle on the fluid dump. And I saw comments about doing scheduling for everything, but this just does not make sense. I wish this was different. Oh no, complaining about a mod, it's fine. People make mods for free. It's fine. Do what you want. I just don't understand it. Not necessarily the fault of the mod creator. I just have a smooth brain. Hey, look. 3 days before we have a drought. So guess what now became our highest priority? Is these floodgates. So get those built immediately. It's just unfortunate that we're not going to have any power to get the rest of this taken care of. So now I kind of want to just get this wood workshop up and running because I've been trying to do these giant pumps this whole time. Oh, we're also out of water, fun fact. I did not pay attention. Oh, we're way bad out of water. Do we have any starvation deaths? Or not starvation, thirst deaths. Well, this was a grave miscalculation. See, all this in my misplaced zeal to get the large water pump, which I can't make because I don't have the wood workshop, which I don't have because I didn't have the tapper shack, which I didn't have because I didn't have enough gears, which I didn't have because there was no water. So, you know, it just keeps kind of going and going and going and going, as one does. All right, so I think we can now actually support having some additional beavers. So I'm going to open up 6 beds so they get to making more beavers. What are we waiting on? Logs? Well, I guess they're going to take all the logs down here because I kind of told them to. That's fine. How many do we have working in the district center again? 2. Okay, well, that shouldn't be completely unreasonable. But I am going to bring them in to build stuff now because we have 1.4 days. And we are not going to survive if this is the only amount of water we've got stored here. Just simply put, not happening. Yeah, so we got to get this done with a quickness here. But the good news is that it is starting to fill this up, even with just this one hole being here. But, of course, as soon as the water stops coming in, then it'll all go out if this isn't filled. Looks like we're going to be able to make it happen, though, so that's good. And that's going to give us a lot more water to pump from, which we are desperately going to need. So, no problems there. Yep, definitely not going to see that finished in time. But that's the way it goes. And if we can actually keep water in here for at least half of the drought, then I think we're going to be in really good shape. I just ended up neglecting to have these. I really should unpause when the drought ends. Oh, I could just say unpause when temperate starts. There we go. just as a nice safety feature. Okay, so that's done. Very nice. And I'm going to, since it's 0.3 days... Actually, no, I don't need to change the height right now because I... Oh, which was the one that I programmed? There we go. I probably should have that be the one on the far right, just so I'm aware of what's happening, because they are synchronized. This is going to go up to 2, which means this might actually flood automatically, but we'll see what happens. I'm not opposed to manually lowering this for a little bit more time. It's just such a shame that we could not get our wood workshop complete in time. But let's face it, it wasn't going to get built that quickly anyway. Alright, so this is now completely closed. And it's not flooding. Okay, so maybe we don't have to worry about it. A nice casual 13-day drought. Alright, we can live with that. Ah, it's flooding. Okay. So we'll just real quick do some damage control. Yeah, it's still flooded over there. Yeah, it's actually super flooding a little bit. Because I don't want the water to all go away, but I also have to make room for the water that's coming in through here. So I guess for right now this is fine. We'll just watch and see when this comes around this way. When that stops flowing in, then we'll put it back up to 2, because that's not going to be any more water coming in at all. And there it goes, up to 2. Cool, so now we have a nice, huge amount of water stored here. That is looking very nice. And actually, if the water is this high, we probably don't even need to worry about turning these fluid dumps back on. At least not for a little bit of time. So the forester now needs to be the priority building. Ah, yes. We now have no planks because I had gear workshops going. And this is almost built, of course, which means I can't put anything else on that way. All right. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build one of those. And then it's everybody's favorite, the power wheel. Back again. So that's going to have to go there, unfortunately. And I'm actually going to pause construction of... No, wait, I can't. I can't even do it this way. I'm just sitting here dumbfounded. Stupidest way to do this. I can't even do this way because this building has to be constructed to send power through it. Which means I can't build this because it's not going to send anything through it. Which means to power everything... Okay, well, this needed to go away anyway. That means I gotta come up here. Oh, man, come on. I gotta come up here and do one of these things. This is absolutely killing me. So that's fun. You know, just casual. Oh, and by the way, I can't make these unless I have planks. So guess what? Guess what we get to do instead? Yeah. That's unfortunate. We're gonna have to. We're gonna just have to make these out of levees because I don't have any planks to build anything else. All right. Well, they did say it was hard mode for a reason. So I guess we have to gather the rubble with a quickness here. But hey, at least we're not going to be out of water. We have pine resin. We don't have anywhere to store it because I had to remove that so I could build the wood workshop, which I can't build because I don't have the stuff to build it, which I don't have because I was using too much of the stuff to build it to build this, which took away stuff from this that we needed to build this so we could have this so we could build stuff here. Does your brain hurt yet? Mine does. It's just not happening. Oh, and because we don't have any planks, we can't build the forester, which means we can't plant trees, which means we can't have chestnuts. So, yeah. Typical day here in Beaverburg 14. Oh, also those carrots died because of my ignorance. Which we really, really need to figure out timers or advanced schedules or something for this. It's just not happening. So, we'll see. We shall see what happens here. 'Cause I saw that maybe if you have just running for a couple hours a day, you could cycle the beavers between them. So if you could have a pause start time for this thing be, say, hour 3, resume time 0, which means the beginning of the day, they'd go to this one first, then this would pause at hour 3. No, I should probably actually pause on a schedule. Disable schedule during... No, it just needs to run all the time. But if we did offset, I don't think 2 hours is long enough to actually get anything done. 3 hours might be okay. So if that pause time is 3, we want the... Wait, hold on. This is why I cannot be a programmer. Terminology just always completely breaks my brain. Pause start time. That means the time it stops dispensing. I wish it was just dispense on, dispense off instead of pause resume, because pause is like, oh, that's an action, but that actually turns off the thing. It's like, whatever. I didn't last very long as a CS major. I'll just go out and say that right away. So pause start time. That means at hour 3, this pauses and it turns back on at hour 0 the following day. So if that starts pause, I hate the terminology start pause, because start is the opposite of pause. You just say pause at 3, not pause whatever. So if God, this is already breaking my brain. Start pausing at hour 3, which means it's off at hour 3, which means this one resumes at hour 3 and pauses at hour 6, which means that this one resumes at hour 6 and pauses at hour 9. So and then this one can resume at hour 9, pause at hour 12. Did I enable this? No, I did not. Then that means this one can resume at hour 12 and pause at hour 15. That should cover us for a very long time. So we'll see if this actually unpauses when we get to hour 0, if I've managed to crack the code of something that a 5-year-old child should be able to understand. Okay, that is unpaused. So there's going to be 3 hours of bringing water in here. So that should keep these things stopped up. And now it's paused. This is unpaused. Okay. So we should see these two flip here. Yep, and there it goes. Wow, did I actually figure this out? Okay. Maybe I'm not completely stupid. That one should turn off, and this one should turn on. There we go. Okay. Ah, yes. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, resume time 15, pause time 18. We'll just do that. That should be very soon. This one should unpause, and there we go. Can someone even bring water up here that fast? Yes. Okay, well, that's something, I guess. We've got a working system for an 18-hour day. Oh, we've already pumped so much water out of this. Don't worry, this is not water leaking. This is just a byproduct of how the game renders water as like part of a sheet that just eternally moves, like you can see down here. It's just one static sheet that the game bunches up whenever water's supposed to be there. All right, so that's looking okay. We are making planks again, which is very good news. Means Luca over here can plant some chestnut trees. Which, actually, we need to go ahead and continue unmarking the ones that have already been cut. There we go. So these are going to be chestnuts. And then this area over here, probably for the purposes of a tapper's shack, probably should be... See, I just don't know. Because I want this to be like food farming. Because I don't think we want to keep the tapper shack here. I mean, it's here right now, so that's what we're going to be doing with it. But until we actually need maples, I think I'm just going to make this to be more chestnuts, because that is a very, very useful thing. Make sure that we don't mark all of our chestnuts for cutting here. There we go. It's a very slow process getting this stuff switched over to something else. And I do appreciate your patience. But so far, everything is looking pretty good. I can't make any more of these medium tanks because I don't have the gears. And I don't have the gears because we're so busy doing all of this. So what we should be doing is we should be completing this wood workshop. Because it only needs 19 planks. We have 30-something planks. So that's going to be fine. And then now we can build this power wheel, which means another beaver can run on it, which means we can run more of this stuff. And that's always exciting. So what I was originally going to do before everything just kind of got discombobulated was I was going to build some additional storage up here. This is for gears. So I'm going to make this one for gears, and this one is going to be for pine resin. Now that we have the platforms to do all this stuff on. So that's working out pretty nice. And once the water actually starts flowing again, we'll have wood workshop doing wood workshop things, and then we'll be able to start making even more fun stuff. Alright, now that water's gone. Because now it's only down here, but that's not a problem. Everything should be a-okay. We're still sucking water out of here without any issues. So, that's cool. This is still looking fine. These oak trees are actually getting pretty close. 86%. It's still going to be a couple days. But we'll get that taken care of with no issues. Chestnut trees. Got a couple here. Just keep on top of getting these not cut down at the improper time. Cool. And I did say we're going to put berries over here. But the gatherer flag, when we actually put it back in, actually has a pretty big range. So this area up here would probably be a decent spot for the berries to go. But again, berries aren't, strictly speaking, super necessary at this point for the Folktails. Apparently the recipes for some things have changed, and the herbalist will need access to some of that. But we're not there yet. And if our beavers don't go in the contaminated water, they don't ever have to be cured, which means we don't have to worry about that at all. So, you know, think smarter, not harder, is what I'm going to tell myself to forget that I make a lot of these dumb mistakes very, very often. That's fine. I will start planting berry bushes up here just because they take so long to grow. Actually, I can leave these spaces up here free for the gatherer flags. We'll be smart about it. Because this lumberjack flag isn't going to need to be here forever. We just have to be able to use all of our wood here. Alright, so we have space over here to be planting some more stuff. We also have space to put in some additional tanks. And you know we're going to want one. Oh no, don't put it right next to the forester. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That's fine. We don't need to be super vigilant about compact storage of anything here. We have so much space. We have the whole map. So all these dead berry bushes are no longer relevant whatsoever. No problems there. This actually, we could probably go ahead and turn our wood workshop on. We don't have the extra beavers to do it yet. Yet, he says, hitting unpause on a triple lodge and opening up 11 free beds. Which shouldn't happen because this only holds 9, but whatever. That's alright. We'll get some more beavers in here. Now that we actually have the stability on the food and the water, it should be a-okay. Should have no problems with that whatsoever. But if we get the wood workshop going... Hey, Josh. Working over here in the wood workshop. If we can get the pine resin actually going in here as well as the planks, it's not going to be very efficient power usage, but it is going to be working. And that's what matters. You get those treated planks because soon we'll be able to build and research a large water pump. I mean, I could research it right now. I just can't build it because I don't have any treated planks. So that's going to be fun. Again, that has the maximum depth of 4, and it pumps out 15 in an hour instead of 3. Or 15 in an hour instead of 3. Very, very cool stuff. And I know this is only 2 deep. We haven't gotten to dynamite yet, and we won't for a little while because, again, it needs metal. I think that could be a good goal for maybe next episode, is to get access to metal, because we're going to have to climb up here, I think. Yeah. I'm actually way more excited than I need to be about these pumps getting automated correctly. It's the little things, little victories in life. So this actually might be just about ready to evaporate, it seems. So let's take a second here, make sure this is all good. I don't need to have the berries on a schedule to be cut down. That should be probably removed. Make sure we're planting all of our chestnuts where they're supposed to go. It's fine. More blueberries where blueberries go, because these take forever to start yielding. But we managed to make it all the way through without draining all of our water. It was only a 13-day drought, mind you, but I think we can be pretty happy with that. And here comes the water. We're about to have a bunch of power here, which means we can pause these two, and we can turn, well, all of these on, really. Ah, that wasn't the water coming down. That was it flowing over the side here. That happened last episode, and I was very confused. But now the water actually is coming over here. And that is looking nice. This, of course, is waiting on gears that are not being constructed because these were paused, but now they're unpaused. We can have everybody working nicely over here. Look at all this power. We were making 1,200 for a minute, and of course it's going to go down because the water speed slows. But it is, yeah, looking like it's going to be adequate to have all of this running at once, which we love to see. That is quite nice. Now let's check. I just have no confidence that this is set up correctly. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Height above high contamination, 1. Yep, 1%. So I probably should have the stream gauge like way further up here. But you know what? Just in case, I'm just gonna put this like way up here, because then we'll have plenty of advanced warning, which isn't really gonna do a whole lot of good for this area right here. Is this actually not enough throughput? I know it is going over through this way reasonably well. Yeah, if we get bad tides up here, it's going to be bad news. So let's actually take a second to think here. I think I mentioned to somebody in the comments I was going to try to create like a whoa, that was weird. I was going to try to create like a secondary dam here that we could just completely close off to keep these trees alive. And we have the wood to do it. And we haven't gotten the warning yet, which we're probably going to in just a second. So what if we did one of these? I'm just trying to min-max our amount of water that can get in with the placement of this. If we just had all of this built as just a wall here, would that be enough? I mean, I think it would. To just keep nice, healthy water in here. And whenever a bad tide happens, that gate would just completely close. So if I have that set to bad tide start height 2, bad tide ends. No, I can't do that because it's going to have lingering effects. So maybe we'll just have this be like a failsafe. Bad tide starts height 2 and just manually change it everywhere else. We'll see what happens. Because I think, well, one, we need to use wood so we can cut more of it down. But having this kind of partitioned off is going to be pretty smart to keep these trees alive and also give us another emergency little reservoir of water. Is it ugly? Yes. Does it work? Also yes. So that's fine. Now we have 9 treated... Oh, I didn't build storage. Did not build treated plank storage. Okay. So... yeah, let's just put that there. Treated plank storage. Let's actually super prioritize that. I know they're in the midst of making these. Well, let's get this done because I need to make sure I have a storage of treated planks so we can actually build this other stuff. Yep. Oh, good. It's another drought, not another bad tide. After handing me what, 2 in a row earlier in the series, I guess we're going to have a little bit of mercy here, which I guess is good for my sanity, but doesn't necessarily make for good good content. You guys seem to enjoy my suffering quite a bit, which I guess is something to be celebrated, but is it though? I don't know. Chaos is fun though. I will give it that. Alright, so we can have treated planks stored here. That's looking good. And now we can just keep this going. Got Pluck Me in here at the wood workshop. Look at us go, man. And they're making good progress on this too. Which is, I guess, good, but also we don't need it currently. So, no real sense of urgency required for that. Food, again, is looking perfectly fine. Water is looking fine. I wish we had a little more. But we are waiting on the gears. Which I don't know why it says we don't have any gears, because we have 16. This says can't get required materials. So that doesn't make sense. Because, you know, it's already here. Unless gears are... no, they're over here. So I don't know what's going on with that. But we can put a couple more chestnut trees in. Make sure we unmark these for cutting. And, oh, we actually did not mark... are these... okay, that's an oak. We need to mark these for cutting so they can actually, well, cut the trees. Unmark these have already been cut down. Set those up as blueberries. The ones that we can, at least. Alright. Making good progress here. I just want this tank to get built, and I don't know why it says they can't get the required materials when the materials very clearly exist. And they should not be allocated for anything. That should not be a problem. Where are my gears? Are they just being held hostage somewhere? Because I know they're not being used in the wood workshop. Yeah, we keep making more of them. Is that just an issue of... no, that's not marked as any specific thing. What is the deal? Do I just have to pause, unpause? No. Extraction lacks... you're not lacking gears. There's 26 gears. Just make the gears. Use the gears. No, we don't need this here. Why did I have this set like that? Unless they're too far away. But that would be dumb. That shouldn't be a thing. So if I have this set to gears and set this to obtain, then maybe they'll bring the gears here and maybe they'll recognize. But anyway, it's drought time, which means this goes up, which means this has to then go back down, or it's going to flood the entire everything over here. And, more importantly, it means we're about to be out of stuff, because we're not going to be able to set this going. But the other fun thing about it being the start of a drought is the time code on OBS is telling me that we've almost been at this for an hour, so this is actually a good place to end for today. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pause, take stock real quick of what's going on, make a couple of final adjustments, and then we will say goodbye to this series until... what day is it? Friday is the release of this. Sunday, Monday? No, Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday. And that's not supposed to be a tree. Monday, Tuesday is when this one's going to pick back up. I think Monday, Tuesday. Should be. Do as I say, not as I do. Except in this case, do as I do, not as I say. I don't know. My brain doesn't want to work right anymore, it seems. But we'll let this drain out a little bit more so we don't have any problems with all of this other fun stuff. I kind of want to keep making gears. But I know that's not going to be a wise decision. So this will be an interesting thing for us to deal with the next time. But we'll get it done. And we will hopefully be able to finish this levee, this floodgate, and plug something in here, move these stairs out of the way, and make it so that we're going to be able to keep these trees safe. That'll be a next time project. Maybe trying to get up here to get some metal or coming out here. Although that one could take a while because there's a lot of stuff that's held back behind metal. And I really wanted to get at these large water pumps. Which I guess we could. I could build maybe one. But there's not really a need for it, honestly. The way this is set up, I don't have clearance. So no, maybe that's next time. Maybe we'll do that next time. That could be a fun thing to make you guys hold on to for a couple days. How do we have so many beavers with broken teeth when we have the tooth grindstone? Anyway, questions that we will have to answer next time. Where's our water? Still all the way up here? Okay. Well, I'll let this run for a little bit while we start getting out of here. So, once again, very much appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. It's always fun to talk to you. Always fun to be able to enjoy this process together. So please do leave all of your feedback, comments, questions, concerns, frog emojis, etc. Down below. I do read every comment. I try to respond to as many as I can that have something for me to respond to. And I do very much value your input. I do make notes every episode to see what you guys had to say, so we can try and accomplish some good stuff. I'm looking at them right now, and we got most of what you guys were talking about at least acknowledged or solved or looked at or what have you. So that's going well. Very thankful for that, as well as Beard Boosters making it possible for me to do these videos every day with their support. Really does make it possible for me to keep doing this. So I'm very thankful for those folks, and for you as well, even if you're not part of that. So that is all we've got for today. As the water starts to stop, I guess you could say. We'll say goodbye as well, and we'll pick this back up in the next episode. Hope to see you there. And of course, we have plenty of other content coming as well. We've got water beavers tomorrow, and then the Iron Teeth, possibly the finale of that series on Sunday. So we'll be excited to see how that pans out. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.